everyone. Today I will discuss the Data Protection Act 1998. In the present UK, Data Protection Act became law in 1998. The Act is administered and enforced by the Information Commissioner, who is appointed by and answerable to Parliament. The meaning of the data within the Act is information relating to a living individual known as the data subject, which is processed by a person or organization known as the data user using an equipment operating automatically in response to instructions, usually but not necessarily a computer. Information relating to a living individual, tinatawag na data subject. Pag sinabing data subject, sila yung mga tao at organisasyon na kilala bilang the data user or the researcher na gumagamit ng equipment operating automatically like computers, software, firmware, and so on. In an organization na nagpoproseso ng personal data ay dapat sumunod sa batas, dapat maging maingat sila dahil ito ay importante sa ating mga individual na impormasyon. And also, the Act requires that all data users ay dapat legal or tiyak na nakarehistro sa automated system keeping such as information ay tulad ng name and address of data user and so on. In another hand, in Data Protection Act 1998, maaari kang humiling ng mga detalye ng personal na impormasyon. Ikaw ay may karapatan upang ma-access ang anumang impormasyon tungkol sa iyo. Data Protection Act 1998 are protect personal data stored on computer or in organized paper filing systems. Next, there are three categories of the data that are exempt. When we say exempt or exemption, is free from an obligation or liability imposed on others. The first category is text-only preparation, that is less that are not processed, collated, or manipulated. Ito yung hindi hawak o hindi na proseso sa data protection na pwede makita o mahawak ng ibang tao. Data held for personal, household, and family matters. This exemption, however, does not apply to individuals who hold personal data for business or professional purposes. Kaya ng samples the Christmas card or CD list. Then next, national security data, that is data related to security and intelligence work that necessarily has to be kept secret. This national security data, the purpose of safeguarding national security or defense purposes. Next, the underlying principles. Any organization processing personal data must comply with 8 main principles which state the circumstances under which it is lawful to process personal data. The 8 principles of the Data Protection Act 1998. First principle, personal data shall be processed fairly and lawfully, and in particular shall not be processed unless at least one of the conditions in Schedule 2, and in the case of sensitive personal data, at least one of the conditions in Schedule 3. So, the first principle ay ang isang tao ay may karapatan na humiling ng access sa impormasyon, pigilan ang pagproseso ng impormasyon kung ito ay marahil na nagdudulot ng pinsala o pagkasira Kung ang Data Protection Act ay naman ay nilabag, mag-claim ng kabayaran kung ang impormasyon ay hindi tumpak. Next, the second principle. Personal data shall be obtained only for one or more specified and lawful purposes and shall not be further processed in any manner incompatible with that purpose or the purposes. Ito naman ay naglagay ng isang particular na obligasyon sa controller na gumagamit lamang ng personal na data para sa isang naayon na batas at makatwirang layunin. Third principle, personal data shall be adequate, relevant, and not excessive in relation to the purpose or purposes for which they are processed. The third principle naman ay naglagay ng obligasyon tungkulin sa controller na kolektahin lamang minimum na halaga ng impormasyong kinakailangan. The fourth principle, personal data shall be accurate and where necessary keep up to date. So, the fourth principle, kinakailangan na ang controller ay mangolekta at panatilihin lamang ang tiyak o eksakto na impormasyon sa individual. Fifth, personal data processed for any purpose or purposes shall not be kept for longer than necessary for that purpose or those purposes. Naglagay ng limitasyon sa dami ng oras na maaaring panatilihin ng controller ang personal na impormasyon sa individual. Six principles, personal data shall be processed in accordance with the rights of data subject under this act. So, the sixth principle, tumutukoy ito sa karapatan. Ito ay nagbigay sa mga individual ng karapatang pumili kung paano gagamitin ang kanilang personal na data. The seventh principle, proper technical and organizational measures shall be taken against unauthorized or unlawful processing of personal data and against accidental loss or destruction of or damage to personal data. Ay naglagay ng legal na obligasyon sa controller na i-secure ang data laban sa hindi autorisado o labag sa batas na pagproseso. 8. Principle, personal data shall not be transferred to a country or territory outside the European Economic Area unless that country or territory ensures an adequate level of protection for the rights and freedoms of data subject in relation to the processing of personal data. Type principles ay nangailangan ng controller na ipaalam sa individual ang kanilang layunin na ilipat ang kanilang data sa ibang bansa at dapat matiyak na ang bansa na ililipatan ng data o impormasyon ay sapat na maprotektahan dahil ito ay mahalaga sa bawat isa. Next, here are the short or summary para mas maintindihan ang 8 principles ng data protection. Principle 1, the keyword niya is fair and lawful. Principle 2 is talk about the purposes. Principle 3, adequacy. Principle 4, accuracy. Principle 5, retention. Principle 6, rights. Principle 7, security. Principle 8, international transfers. Other provisions of the Act. There are further provisions in the Act that state the condition under which the processing of the data is allowed is Schedule 2. And special protection for data that is classes as sensitive, such as political or religious affiliation, Schedule 3. Conditions under which processing is allowed, Schedule 2. At least one of the following conditions must be met in the case of the processing of personal data, except where a relevant exemption applies. The data subject has given their consent to the processing. The processing is necessary for the performance of contract to which is data subject is a party, or for the taking of steps at the request of the data subject with a view to entering into a contract. The processing is necessary to comply with any legal obligation to which data controller is subject, other than an obligation imposed by contract. The processing is necessary in order to protect the vital interests of the data subject. The processing is necessary for administration of justice, for the exercise of any function conferred by or under any enactment, for the exercise of any function of the Crown, a minister of the Crown, or a government department, or for the exercise of any other functions of public nature exercise in the public interest. Schedule 2 ito ang dapat matugunan sa kaso ng lahat ng pagproseso ng personal na data. Ang personal data ay dapat iproseso ng patas. Sensitive data. There are restrictions on the holding of sensitive data. In sensitive personal data is being collected, the data subject must give their explicit consent to anything which is done with that data. Sensitive data, ito yung may mga paghihigpit sa paghawak ng sensitibong data na dapat mas secure. Lalo na kung ito ay nakakolekta na. Pag sinabing sensitive data, kailangan ito ay mas mahigpit na proteksyon. Dahil pag ito ay makita o magalaw ng iba, pwede itong gamitin ng iba, lalo na sa mga impormasyong na gamit nila para gawing pagkakakitaan gamit ang iyong mahalagang impormasyon. Halimbawa sa mga taong mayaman o kilala, mahigpit nilang pinapaalam o pinapublic ang kanilang location o address. Schedule 3, this section of the Act specifies the categories of sensitive personal data that should not be held as follows: the racial or ethnic origin o pinagmulan ng data subject, their political opinions, their religious beliefs or other beliefs of a similar nature o paniniwala sa kalikasan, whether they are a member of trade union, kanilang physical, mental o kalusugan, tapos their sexual life, the commission or alleged commission by them of any offense, any proceedings for any offense committed or alleged to have been committed by them, the disposal of such proceedings, or the sentence of any court in such proceedings. Right and restriction of right of the data subject, whereby organizations are required to inform individual upon request of information they may be holding about them. This right is specified in the Data Protection Act in the clauses referring to the rights of the data subject. Data subjects have the following rights: the right of information about the processing of their personal data, including the right to be informed either that at the time the data is first processed or when the data is first disclosed to a third party. Karapatan ng impormasyon, malaman at kung tungkol sa anong pagproseso ng kanilang personal data. Malaga sa ating individual at isang organisasyon na may hawak ng ating personal na data na ipaalam kung anong araw, oras na proseso o anong oras ito inilahad sa ibang organisasyon o ibang bansa. The right of access to their personal data, the right to prevent processing likely to cause damage or distress, the right to prevent processing for the purpose of direct marketing, the right to prevent decision making solely by automatic means, the right of compensation or for damage or distress arising from failure to comply with the act, the right of rectification, blocking, erasure, or destruction of personal data where it is inaccurate or which contains an opinion which appears to be less and inaccurate data. Karapatan sa pag-access na magbibigay sa mga individual na karapatang makakuha ng kopya ng kanilang personal na data, pati na rin ang iba pang karagdagang impormasyon. Ito ay nakatulong sa mga individual na maunawaan kung paano at bakit natin ginagamit ang kanilang o bakit ginagamit ang kanilang data. The right of the subject of the rights of the data subject, the data subject, kabayaran sa pinsala o pagkabalisa dahil sa hindi pagsunod sa batas. The rights of data subject, iayos at ipagbawal at pagbura, lalo na lamang pagsira ng personal na data kung ito ay hindi eksakto o naglalaman ng opinion sa sinabing data. Isagawa ng walang intervention. Pag sinabing intervention, pakikialam. The rights of the subject, isagawa ng walang pakikialam. Karapatan nilang gumawa ng mga illegal na epekto o makabuluhang nakakapekto sa iyo. Next, and last, restrictions of access. Data to which access by the data subject is restricted include the following: criminal, tax and immigration control, legal and professional privilege, physical, mental, and social work data, employment by or under the Crown, confidential references, management, forecasting and planning, and intentions in negotiations with the data subject. Take note that the Data Protection Act protect personal data stored on computers or in organized paper filing system. Lahat tayo ay may personal information na kailangan maprotektahan o ma-secure ng mabuti. Kaya bilang individual, dapat tama o insakto ang ating ibibigay ng informasyon sa isang organisasyon na nagbibigay proteksyon sa ating individual na informasyon. At dapat maging maingat din tayo sa mga mag-ingat tayo sa mga social media kung saan nakapublic lahat ng ating mga informasyon. Hindi man lahat, pero dapat secure ang ating mga informasyon na nakikita ng ibang tao. Kahit ito'y kahit mayroong batas o wala, dapat maging maingat tayo. That's all.